I refused to reconnect with my son because he was the one who abandoned me.
Don't do it.
I, 45 female, have a son from my previous marriage. I got pregnant way too young at the age of 20 from my high school sweetheart, David, 45 male. We got married at 22 after graduating college. By the way, this comes from Silly Struggle 2528. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, David was rich.
Aha.
And he didn't want me to work, so I was just a housewife. My son was the apple of my eye. I gave everything to him. He was my world. We were really close, and I never had a doubt in my mind that I would never be alone as long as I had him. That is until 10 years ago when I found out that my husband was cheating on me with a young colleague of his.
Ooh.
What was worse, my 15-year-old son knew about it. He hid the affair from me. Imagine how broken I was. I was betrayed by the two people I cared about most in the world. I asked my son why he did it, why he hurt me. His response was that his dad told him not to say anything. He bought him gifts to keep his mouth shut, and having a young stepmom made him popular amongst his friends. I was blindsided when I learned that my husband had even taken my little boy to meet that woman.
Ooh,
They made excuses saying they were on a ski trip, but they had taken his mistress with them. I felt like a fool. In the divorce ruling, my son chose my ex over me. I was heartbroken. Once everything was finalized, he didn't even want to visit me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is really,
This
really
is tough.
awful. I tried reaching out to him once he turned 18, but he refused. At that point, I gave up and went on with my life. I would still get sad over the years, wondering how he was doing, but eventually I moved on and met somebody. He was a single father of 2 girls. We got married, and just a few days after our wedding, I found out I was pregnant again.
Baby.
The pregnancy was a nightmare.
Oh.
I wanted to meet my son and tell him he was going to be a brother to a baby girl, but my labor was difficult and I nearly passed away after giving birth.
Oh my goodness.
I still wanted to see him, but I knew he didn't want to see me, so I let go of the idea. Over the years, the memories of him just became vague as I immersed myself in my new family. A week ago, I received a series of messages from him on Facebook. He said he missed me a lot and wanted to meet up. It took me by surprise. After 10 years of silence, now he wants to see me? Why? I've been going over every possible reason. The worst part is I don't feel excited about it. As a mother, I know I should be over the moon, but I'm not. My parents and husband know how I feel, and they've been pushing me to meet him. They say I need closure. After all, he is my son. But I don't know if I want to relive the same trauma, so am I in the wrong? And there are a couple edits and another update. I'm conflicted. If I do meet him, I won't invite him to my house, maybe a public place instead. I don't know if he wants something from me, but I will be cautious. And another edit, I've decided to meet him today, but I'm taking my husband with me. He won't be with us directly, but he'll be watching from a distance. For those of you calling me a neglectful mother who never tried to reach out, I hope you never have to experience what it's like to be rejected and lied to by your own child. I know many of you will justify it by saying he was only 15, but betrayal is still betrayal. Regardless, I will be keeping my distance. And there is an update.
Oh man, I am afraid, but also potentially excited. I'm nervous.
I'm
about
nervous,
what's gonna
but I
happen
think
here.
it could be good.
I think it could be good.
And I have hope. A lot of you have been requesting an update. I finally met my son after so many years. He was not a boy anymore. He was a man. He looked taller than I remembered. So anyways, I read your comments. Some of you gave me good suggestions. I prepared myself for any possible outcome. He could be there to meet me and tell me about his life, maybe reconcile, or maybe he wanted something. Regardless of what it was, I kept my guard up. I asked him to meet me in a public park. I asked my husband to be somewhere nearby so he could see me. My son came 5 minutes after I arrived. He was all grown up. I won't lie, I wanted to cry right there, but I held my composure.
Oh.
He said hi to me and I smiled. I commented that he had grown up and looked really nice. He just nodded.
Mm-hmm.
We sat down and it was silent. I was expecting him to say something at first, but finally I asked what he was up to these days. He told me he was doing fine. He just finished college and was going to apply for grad school. I said that was great. Then there was an awkward silence again. He broke the silence and said, "You must be wondering why I contacted you."
Yeah. That's what we want to know.
It's what everyone's wondering.
We're curious.
I replied, "For 10 years you haven't tried to contact me, but why now? I can't help but wonder why you're trying to contact me when you told me years ago that you didn't want me near you because I embarrassed you." His face got serious and he said, "I know that, but I need something from you. A lot of you suggested he must be here to ask for money. Well, you guys were right.
Damn it.
He asked me for money. The amount was $20,000.
Oh, no.
I had hope, guys.
No.
He said he needed it because he wanted to go to law school and his father couldn't afford it after losing a lot of money a few years ago due to his failed business. His company went bankrupt and he also had 3 more kids with his mistress turned wife.
Oh.
That's why they didn't have money for him to go to grad school. It sank my heart. After 10 years, I was finally meeting him. I was hoping we could reconcile and that he would understand what I've been through, or maybe even realize that my husband had been lying to him. But no, he just wanted money from me. I told him I couldn't give him money, especially not such a huge amount. He got defensive and kept asking, "Why not?" Then he asked, "Is this about Dad's affair? Jeez, when will you get over it?"
Oh.
I asked him, "Why do you hate me? What have I done to deserve your hatred? Have I ever raised my voice? Have I ever hit you or said no to you? Then why? You always pushed me away when I tried to get closer to you. Why? What did I do to deserve it?" He took a deep breath and said, "You don't understand, Mom. You really expected me to come with you? You would nothing. At least Dad could afford the lifestyle I wanted, and my friends actually liked Carla," his stepmom. "Everything was fine until you discovered his affair and ruined my deal with Dad. I get it. You didn't hit me or scold me, but you weren't able to afford the life I wanted. This child is a monster." I asked him if he really thought that his father's affair was the best thing for any of us. I sacrificed a lot for him, yet he chose someone he had only met when he was 14. He said he didn't want to talk about it because it was so many years ago and that I should just drop it. I asked why he never tried to visit me. Was it his dad stopping him? Was it something I did? I had tried to reach out multiple times, but he never answered or made an effort. I gave him space, thinking he was coping with the divorce too. He yelled that I was really annoying. He said his dad hadn't stopped him. He himself didn't want to meet me because I lived in a small apartment with only 2 bedrooms. He hated living in a place like that. He ignored me on his 18th birthday because the gift I gave him was cheap and stale compared to what his dad and others had given him. I agree. My gift was a box of his favorite cookies and an old vintage watch. I was struggling a lot at the time, so I couldn't afford to buy him expensive stuff. But does that mean he should have ignored me like that? I had enough. I told him firmly that I would not be giving him money. I had spent years wondering where he was and how he was doing, yet he was still so disrespectful. Throughout our whole conversation, he didn't even ask how I was. He just went straight to the money. I had been hoping we could move on. He had no idea how much of a mess I was when I found out the man I loved so much had betrayed me. And then my own son had lied to me for him. I thought we had a special bond. My mind had been running through so many possibilities. Maybe his dad had lied to him about me, or maybe he had been mad about something I did. But now I finally had the truth. I didn't want to be his ATM. I wanted to be his mother, even when he rejected me. I was tired of feeling rejected, mistreated, and taken for granted. He kept getting defensive, saying that I couldn't do this to him, that I was ruining his life, and that I owed it to him. I told him no. I couldn't trust him with such a large sum of money.
You know what's funny? She did become an ATM.
Yeah.
A tired mother.
A tired mother.
John.
Tired mom.
Wow. Spitting bars. Dang.
Is that John the Rapper?
Tired.
Oh, man.
Wow. He snapped and told me to cut the BS because he knew I had money and could easily give him some. I told him no again and again. At one point, he stood up screaming that I was ruining his life and that I owed it to him. I called my husband and he rushed over to keep my son away from me. I now know that I should have trusted my instincts. I cried a lot when I got home. I lost him forever. I know a lot of you will call me a bad mother. You'll call me self-absorbed, but I'm sorry. I've spent a lot of time in therapy to get over the pain of losing my husband and my son. I cannot have him in my life only to be used as an ATM. Even if I had given him the money, there was no guarantee that he wouldn't have ghosted me afterward or that he wouldn't come back later asking for more when the money ran out. I cannot go through that pain again. I may be able to forgive him for what he said to me, but I don't think I will ever forget it. He hated me because I had no money. I would have been fine with weekly visits, but he never wanted that. Additionally, I discovered during our conversation that he was the first one to find out about my husband's affair. And he asked his dad to buy him a new phone in exchange for his silence. Oh my goodness, he blackmailed his dad. This kid is evil. I lost. That's all I have as an update. I'm sorry if there are any mistakes. And no, his birthday was not the only time I reached out like many of you assumed. I tried to reach out before that many, many times. He said he didn't want to or had other excuses. I respected his decision and didn't bother him too much. I finally gave up trying when he was 18, but I still checked his social media for quite a while until I gave up on that too. But you should never give up on us because you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. As much as I'm hurt by his actions that day, I still hope he learns responsibility and matures. That being said, I hardly think I have the energy to consider reconciling in the future, even if he comes and says sorry. It was already too much for me to be there yesterday, just to be humiliated again. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch.
Big ouchie.